So you guys, today in Reading Workshop, today is all about achievement texts, disaster texts, and these are templates that you'll find in narrative nonfiction. I've come to realize in conversations I've been having with people that you're starting to uncover this stuff on your own. You're realizing that you are reading an achievement text or a disaster text. However, you never knew it was called those things. An achievement text is when someone overcomes something at great odds. And in the end, they make this substantial achievement, this goal. And a disaster text, well, that's when the character is really not sure how to proceed. And then the character ends up making a decision. And then that decision can have consequences, either positive or negative ones. Things usually end up getting worse for the character, but in the end, there are lessons to be learned from all the choices that the character has made throughout the story. So there are two definite kinds of stories that you can be reading, either achievement texts or disaster texts. And today in Reading Workshop, you're really going to have to figure out which one of those are you reading. So the point of today is that I want to teach you that when you find yourself flooded with facts as you read, and you want to be able to figure out what is and is not important to hold on to, it can really help you to see that beneath the details, many true stories are either tales of achievement or disaster. And each of those kinds of stories, they follow a very predictable path. And that path can help readers determine what matters most in the story. Basically, which details to pay most attention to and which ones you can pay less attention to. So what I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to model an achievement story. And I want you to pay attention to, when I'm reading this, how this achievement story can help me with other texts and help me determine the path that the character is going to take and what details I can hold on to and pay attention to. First thing I want to show you is that this story talks about the fig tree, so I thought I would include a picture of a fig tree and then a picture of a fig. If you notice, it kind of looks like an acorn. And then the story is taking place in Kenya, so you can see Kenya is right there, but it's actually located in the continent of Africa. So let's go ahead and read this story, Planting the Trees of Kenya. As Wangari Maathai tells it, when she was growing up on a farm in the hills of Kenya, the earth was clothed in its dress of green. Fig trees, olive trees, crotons, and flame trees covered the land, and fish filled the pure waters and streams. The fig tree was sacred then, and Wangari knew not to disturb it, not even to carry its fallen branches home for firewood. In the stream near her homestead, where she went to collect water for her mother, she played with glistening frog eggs, trying to gather them like beads into a necklace, though they slipped through her fingers and right back into the clear water. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm already getting a sense of deja vu. Like I've kind of seen this type of story before. Let me tell you what I'm feeling. I'm first noticing that this book begins with the account of a little girl. And I know that many achievement stories begin this way. They begin with the achiever's childhood. Everything is lovely and good in the story so far, right? Pure water, a sacred tree, a playful girl. And we know that most stories don't go on like that because they wouldn't be good stories. So something's going to happen to make all this not so perfect. Well, you kind of get that feeling? Let me show you my deja vu that I'm having. Let's go back to the story Secrets of the Mummies, and let's see if we can find that same sense of deja vu that's going on. And here's the text from Secrets of the Lost Mummy. I must find the lost tomb. Howard Carter had been saying that same thing for years, and now it was 1922, the 5th year he had spent digging through the sand and rocks in Egypt's valleys of the kings. Doesn't it kind of feel like the story we've read before? And doesn't it feed into that path of an achievement story? Because I really think it does. The story does tell us right away that Howard Carter has been at a task for many years. So that establishes a trait. A trait, remember, is something that you cannot see. We know that Howard Carter has determination because he's been going at something for 5 years. That's a trait we cannot see. We learned that he's digging in Egypt's Valley of the Kings for a lost tomb. And we could have safely bet that his achievement would have something to do with the treasures that are buried in Egypt. And I have a high sense that I'm expecting right from the first sentence that he says he must find the lost tomb. So as a reader, I'm already poised to read about him finding it. So I know that the details that I really need to pay attention to are going to be the details that are going to lead him to that treasure. Those are going to be the most important pieces of information I need to hold on to as a reader. I've also included a little poster here that I would like you to take a screenshot because this is going to help you decide what type of text you're reading. These are common features of achievement stories. First of all, traits of the achiever are established, sometimes through the tales of his or her own childhood. And then the circumstances of the achiever that the achiever will later fight for or against are going to be presented early on in the story. So that's how you know you have an achievement story. Now, how do you know if you have a disaster story? Well, if you're reading your story and none of this applies to your story, then you have yourself a disaster story. So today during reading workshop, you are going to do 3 things for me as you are working independently. Number 1, you are going to tell me what type of text it is that you're reading. Is it an achievement text or a disaster text? Number 2, how do you know what type of text it is? This is where you're going to support your answer by giving me some evidence to explain why. And then number 3, what I want you to do with that is, how does that knowledge help you anticipate the way this text will go? How is that going to help you to determine what's going to happen later on in the story or in the future of the story? Of course, you're going to put all that evidence in any type of application you would like to, and you're going to submit it into the standard-based grading Dropbox that's located in Nonfiction in the Reading Workshop folder. Good luck!